Did you know that in 1869, something fascinating happened in France that perfectly illustrates the Nirvana fallacy? The French government was considering implementing a new sewage system to improve public health, but critics argued that because the proposed system wouldn't completely eliminate disease, it wasn't worth pursuing. This line of thinking is a classic example of the Nirvana fallacy, which occurs when someone dismisses a realistic solution simply because it doesn't meet an impossible standard of perfection. In this video, we'll explore the Nirvana fallacy in depth, discuss a few studies that have examined its impact, and provide you with real-world examples so you can easily spot it in your everyday life. By the end of this video, you'll know how to recognize the Nirvana fallacy and avoid falling victim to it. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, the very place we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today, we're exploring the Nirvana fallacy, a concept that's quite interesting. It's all about comparing real-world solutions to an idealized perfect solution. We'll dive into why this can be a tricky way of thinking and how it affects decision-making. Before we dive deeper into this topic, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our mind-strengthening content. If you find our podcast valuable, consider supporting us through PayPal using the link in the description. Your support helps us continue our mission of promoting rational thinking. Also, please share this episode with someone you know who might be interested in understanding the Nirvana fallacy. Let's share knowledge together. Let's get started. Let's look at two studies that have investigated the Nirvana fallacy. The first study, conducted by researchers at the University of Toronto, examined how people's decision-making processes were influenced by the Nirvana fallacy. They found that participants were more likely to reject viable solutions to problems when they were presented with an unrealistic, idealized alternative. This demonstrates the powerful influence of the Nirvana fallacy on our ability to make rational choices. Another study, conducted by researchers at the University of California, explored the impact of the Nirvana fallacy in the context of public policy debates. They found that when policymakers were presented with the Nirvana fallacy, they were less likely to support feasible, evidence-based policies in favor of unattainable, idealized alternatives. This study highlights the potential consequences of the Nirvana fallacy on important decision-making processes. Now that we've looked at some research on the Nirvana fallacy, let's examine 7 real-world examples that can help you better understand this phenomenon. 1. Environmental policy. Critics of renewable energy sources like solar and wind power may argue that these technologies can't completely replace fossil fuels, so they're not worth investing in. This is an example of the Nirvana fallacy, as it dismisses a viable solution because it's not perfect. 2. Public transportation. Some people might argue against investing in public transportation improvements, citing that it won't completely eliminate traffic congestion. This, too, is an example of the Nirvana fallacy, as it rejects a potential solution for not being flawless. 3. Diet and exercise. People might avoid making healthier choices in their diet or exercise routine, thinking that since they can't achieve a perfect body or optimal health, it's not worth trying. This represents the Nirvana fallacy at work in personal health decisions. 4. Personal finance. Someone might avoid saving for retirement, believing that they'll never have enough money to retire comfortably, so there's no point in trying. This thinking is another example of the Nirvana fallacy. 5. Education reform. Critics of education reform may argue that new policies won't solve every problem within the education system, so they're not worth implementing. 6. Crime prevention. People might argue against implementing new crime prevention measures, claiming that they won't completely eliminate crime, so they're not worth pursuing. 7. Workplace safety. Some might argue against investing in workplace safety improvements, stating that accidents can never be entirely prevented, so it's not worth the effort. This reasoning is another manifestation of the Nirvana fallacy. To spot the Nirvana fallacy in action, pay attention to situations where someone dismisses a realistic solution simply because it doesn't meet an impossible standard of perfection. This fallacy can occur in various settings, from policy debates to personal choices. To avoid falling victim to the Nirvana fallacy, it's important to recognize that perfection is often an unrealistic standard. Instead of focusing on unattainable ideals, strive to make informed decisions based on the best available options. When evaluating potential solutions or making choices, consider the pros and cons of each option, and weigh them against one another, rather than comparing them to an impossible standard. Additionally, when engaging in debates or discussions, be cautious of arguments that hinge on the Nirvana fallacy. Challenge these assertions by pointing out the unrealistic nature of the perfect alternative, and highlight the benefits of the realistic solution at hand. By doing so, you can encourage more productive, rational conversations and avoid getting sidetracked by unattainable ideals. In summary, the Nirvana fallacy is a common cognitive bias that can impact our decision-making processes in various aspects of life, from public policy to personal choices. By understanding the Nirvana fallacy, recognizing its presence in real-world examples, and learning how to avoid falling victim to it, you can become a more critical thinker and make better-informed decisions. Always remember that seeking perfection is often unrealistic, and focusing on the best available options is a more practical approach to problem-solving and decision-making. So, rational rebels, what do you think about this fallacy? Do you know a story or have an experience of yourself or someone you know who fell for this fallacy? Let me know and share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful or want to help the channel grow. Hit the bell to not miss anything and share the video to spread awareness or send it to someone who could benefit from this episode. Please consider making a donation via the PayPal link in the description. Your support means the world to me and helps create more critical thinkers in this world. Keep your mind sharp, subscribe to become a rational rebel, until the next time we meet in the arena of reason. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, signing off.